The morning of Mr. Binondo's wedding was supposed to be peaceful, romantic, and picture-perfect, but instead it turned into the kind of comedy only the universe could design for a man whose entire life felt like a long, unpredictable slapstick sketch. The venue, an old, slightly cracked community hall deep inside Tondo City, was decorated with every affordable item the barangay could gather. Plastic flowers from a second-hand stall in Quiapo, streamers that didn't match, and a sound system borrowed from a cousin in Pandacan who warned that it might explode if played too loud. The chairs were mismatched in height, the carpet was borrowed from a church in San Juan, and the fans rattled so loudly they sounded like motorized tricycles warming up for a race. Yet, despite the chaos, Mr. Binondo stood there in front of the mirror wearing an oversized barong that didn't quite fit, trying to convince himself that today would still be special. But the moment he stepped onto the aisle, everything began unraveling with perfect comedic timing. A street cat from Caloocan somehow snuck in and immediately landed on the wedding cake, leaving a paw-print trail of frosting across the table. The best man, Paze, tried to chase the cat but ended up tripping over a loose tile, knocking down half of the backdrop that had "Happy Weddin'" written on it, because the letter G had fallen earlier and no one could find it. The flower girl from Muntinlupa kept throwing petals in random directions, sometimes at people's faces, sometimes at the ceiling, and sometimes at nothing at all. And just when Mr. Binondo tried to calm himself by taking deep breaths, the microphone squealed so loudly that even the photographer from Taguig covered his ears and dropped his camera lens. Then came the moment everyone would remember for decades, the arrival of Cemon Cow Well. Somehow, through a mix of wrong directions and unbelievable fate, the world-famous judge ended up at this humble Filipino-city-themed wedding. The entire room froze. Even the electric fan seemed to stop mid-spin. Cemon Cow Well stood at the doorway with his signature unimpressed stare, scanning the hall as if evaluating the worst audition of his career. Mr. Binondo's face drained of color. His heart raced. His poor reaction was instant, visible, and impossible to hide. His knees buckled, his lips twitched, and he had the expression of a man who knew his wedding was being silently roasted in real time. As Cemon slowly walked in, arms folded, eyebrows slightly raised, the pressure grew unbearable. Every flaw in the room suddenly felt 10 times louder, 10 times uglier, and 10 times more embarrassing. Mr. Binondo whispered, "Oh no, he's judging everything," while trying to fix the crooked decorations, wipe frosting off his barong, and smile at the same time. He stumbled, panicked, and nearly unplugged the speaker again. It was chaos, pure Filipino city name chaos. Unfolding under the cold, sharp gaze of the harshest critic on earth. As the ceremony dragged on, Mr. Binondo kept trying to fix every disaster, but the universe refused to give him even one peaceful minute. The choir from Parañaque, who had promised to rehearse, kept singing off-key like they were testing how much a human ear could tolerate before shutting down completely. The photographer from Taguig was sweating so heavily that his camera kept slipping from his hands, forcing him to take blurry photos that looked more like ghost sightings than wedding memories. Meanwhile, the ring-bearer from Malabon, a shy kid with oversized shoes, kept wandering off toward the pancit table like he was on a personal food mission. Each new mistake made Cemon Cow Well's reaction harsher. His frown deepened, his jaw clenched, and every sigh he released sounded like a judge eliminating contestants in his mind. When the microphone randomly shrieked again, Cemon slowly turned his head with the expression of someone thinking, "Who allowed this chaos to exist?" Mr. Binondo saw every reaction, and it crushed him. He felt smaller, poorer, and more embarrassed by the second, like a humble contestant terrified to disappoint a judge who expected perfection in a room that couldn't even provide working air conditioning. The more Mr. Binondo tried to impress Cemon, the worse everything got. He bumped into chairs, stepped on someone's foot from Quezon City, and even dropped one of the wedding rings, which rolled under a table like it was trying to escape the ceremony. But then, something unexpectedly beautiful happened right when the vows finally began. Despite the chaos, despite the off-key choir, despite the missing letter on the backdrop, the room softened. The bride from Makati took Mr. Binondo's trembling hands, and the moment their eyes met, everything felt real again, raw, imperfect, but full of heart. Even the guests from Las Piñas, Valenzuela, and Cebu City stopped whispering and leaned in, sensing a genuine moment rising from the wreckage. For the first time since he walked in, Cemon Cow Well's expression shifted. The harsh glare faded just a little, replaced by a look that almost, resembled admiration. It wasn't a smile, not even close, but it was enough to make Mr. Binondo breathe again. As they exchanged vows, the lights flickered softly instead of violently, the fan finally began spinning at a normal speed, and even the noisy speakers behaved as if giving the couple one moment of peace. Mr. Binondo spoke with a shaky voice, admitting he wasn't perfect, that life had always been messy and unpredictable, just like this wedding, but his love was real. The bride squeezed his hand, and that simple gesture carried more power than any decoration or expensive venue ever could. For a moment, the chaos didn't matter. The mistakes didn't matter. Nothing mattered except the truth between them. When the officiant from Navotas finally announced them husband and wife. After mispronouncing Binondo's name for the fourth time, the entire room erupted into cheers. Guests clapped, chairs shook, and even the cat from Caloocan returned as if giving its own blessing. And though he tried to hide it, Cemon Cow Well gave a tiny nod, the kind of nod that said, despite everything, this wedding has soul. Mr. Binondo realized then that perfection wasn't needed. What mattered was heart, love, and the wild, unforgettable energy of a Filipino-style celebration, messy, loud, chaotic, yet deeply meaningful in every way.